All right, so I got the block-off plate installed on the cylinder there. You can see it on the front. Got my horn back on. And you come around to the other side of the bike and you can trace that long hose that comes from the solenoid here. So you've got two connections on the airbox. We're on the right side of the bike now, as you can see. The bottom one here is what you have to remove. The top one, I believe, goes to the fuel tank as a vent line, but don't quote me on that. So you're going to leave that just as it is, and we're going to use this bottom one and cap it off with the other plug that's included on the Graves AIS kit. So here we go. All right, so that's all done. You can see the cap here on the bottom of the airbox. The top one is still factory. You might look at that zip tie and think, what the hell am I doing with that? Well, the reason I put that on there is that this plug isn't exactly a very tight fit. It kind of just slides right on and off. So I had an idea of using one of these metal clamps that was already a factory part of the bike here, but the rubber cap with the Graves kit is actually a pretty good amount smaller, like a thinner diameter rubber, I guess, than this stuff. So these didn't fit tight enough. They just kind of sat on there loose. So I decided to throw a zip tie on there. It shouldn't go anywhere. There should actually be a bit of a suction when the bike's running that'll hold it in place, just because of the nature of the airbox. However, I just wanted a little extra security on it. I chose the blue. I have obviously plenty of black ones, but I just wanted to be able to see it, and if it ever comes off, I want it to be readily apparent. So that's why I want the funny color. You guys can all make fun of me if you want, but that's the reason. So anyhow, move on. Next, we're gonna get started on the airbox modifications. So yeah, on to that. Almost forgot one more thing on the AIS. This is all the stuff that comes off of the bike, just for your reference. This little solenoid is actually heavier than it looks, so I'm pretty happy to get rid of this dead weight. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, you might remember the wiring harness here that was connected to that piece. It stays on the bike. It's part of the wiring loom, so what you're going to have to do is just waterproof it, I guess. I'm not sure that it really is that important, but my bike, like I said, is ridden off-road all the time. So I'm going to wrap it up and cover it and just sort of wedge it up here under the frame, up out of the way, unless I figure out something else. So anyway, come back for part 2 and we'll get started on the airbox.